Hello, all. All right, we're on a couple minutes early, just waiting for Miss Tracy to share us over into the Craft Around the Clock group. We're going to be painting this little lavender sign this evening. Here's Miss Tracy. Excellent. Thank you, Tracy. All right, welcome to my Craft Around the Clock segment. We're going to be painting this little lavender sign, as I was saying. I haven't painted this one before, so we're going to paint it together. How's everybody doing? And I hope you can hear me okay. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm always worried that my sound isn't working. I don't know why I'm always worried about that, but I'm sure you'll let me know if you can't hear a word I'm saying. All right, so I'm going to take this apart and work on the background first. So I'm just going to set these little pieces aside. And this is all pre-etched, so we know where the pieces go, which is lovely. I love that about these little cutouts. Now I'm going to, for this one, I think I'm not going to paint the background, but I'm going to stain it. So while we're doing that, if you are not a part of the Craft Around the Clock group, then make sure you go to the link that I have added here on this post and go over there and join that group to watch lots more crafters. Let me get this open. Oh my heavens. Okay, there we go. And also we are streaming in the Craft Around the Clock group on my page and also over into YouTube. So we're in several places tonight. If you want to watch in any of those areas, that's where I'm at. All right. So without further ado, I think we'll just get started. So I'm going to get a baby wipe to put this paint on the background. Now, bear with me because these baby wipes that I'm using are horrible. They are not the best. So we're going to do the best we can with this. Now, also, if you're new to my page and you're watching through the Craft Around the Clock group, let me know in the comments if you're new. So I'm just going to use this burlap color, I think, for the background. Now, I'm hoping that this is a good choice because, like I said, I haven't painted this one before, so we're winging it together. That's what we're doing. Now I want it to be a little bit lighter, so I'm going to just see these wet wipes. I'm trying to use them up because these are like the worst. I had some better ones that didn't fluff up all over the place, but I used them all. So I have these ones. I have to use them up. So I don't want to be cursing the wet wipes, but I just might be cursing the wet wipes tonight. All right, we're going to do this side. Now this doesn't have to be stained because we're putting that overlay over top of it. So we're just doing it on either side of, so hopefully it won't be too painful for me with these least favorite wet wipes that I'm using. So I'm just kind of wetting my paint, watering it down a little bit more. And I just want to get that sort of stained look on the background. You see how they just fall apart? I hope people aren't using these on their poor wee babies' bums because it would be a catastrophe, let me just tell you. Not good at all. So I'm hoping once we get past the wet wipe debacle, all will go well. Now, let me get a clean one and hopefully we'll be done with this wet wipe situation. I just want to, like I said, I don't want it to be too dark. I just want to get that little bit of a tan color on there. So just wipe it back a little bit. And we're going to give it a dry. Because it is ick. So hopefully when I dry it, I can get all these little nasty pieces of wet wipe off of here. So can someone mention in the comments if you can hear me okay? Just so I know that my microphone is working. I'll tell you why. I tried to do a recording the other night for a tutorial, and when I played it back, it started out great, and then I think my mic died sort of halfway through it, so now I have to go do a voiceover on that one. So I was just curious if you can hear me or not. All right, it's about dry. Now I think once I dry this, I'm going to take a little bit of burnt umber and I'm going to go around the outer edges just a little bit, just to darken that down. And then we're going to set this aside and work on our lavender and letters and all that fun stuff. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate you letting me know you can hear me. And I thought when I was, oh, perfect, Colleen. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. There's Miss Cecile. I haven't seen you in ages. All right, so that's pretty good. Now I'm just going to take a little piece of sandpaper and I'm just going to, sometimes when you wet the background, like, or when you wet the wood, it gets a little bit of a fur on it. Nice to see you too, Cecile. So I'm just going to take that little bit of roughness off there. And that's lovely. And then I'm going to take some of that burnt umber, like I said, and I'm just going to go around the outer edge. We'll see how that looks. Like I said, this is a first for me. So a tutorial for my spring mousse. Wanda, I can do one. Girlfriend, I can do one. But I'd like to do it live, to be honest with you. Like, I want to do it so that if other people buy the tutorial, they can actually, y'all can see it. So I think what I'll do is, I know you had mentioned this before, I'll do one for that. I'll have to cut a new, I don't have a blank cut for that, so I'll have to cut one and then I'll do a live for it. How's that? All righty. So I think that looks pretty good. We'll just put that little extra dark brown around the outer edge so it's not so plain. So I'm just using my angled brush and a little bit of burnt umber. And I suppose you could use, no worries. I suppose you could use, like, I know some of you guys like to use the, oh, I'm trying to think, the distressing ink and things like that. You could do that on the edge here too if you had that instead of using paint. Just anything to just to add a little bit to the edge. I don't have any of that stuff, that distressing, that fancy distressing stuff that I see some of the other ladies here on Craft Around the Clock use. I don't have that stuff. Is it Tim Holtz, I think, that makes that? Is that the brand name? Again, I don't have that fancy stuff. We're just going with good old paint and paintbrush. That's what we're doing. So that just added a little bit of something, I think. Now I could also go down along the edge there, but I think I'm going to not chance that because I'm not sure if I decide to do it after I get it all together, once I get the other pieces painted, but I think I'll just do the outer edge for now because we can't go backwards. If I stain there now and I don't like it, it's on there. So we'll just try this first. I'm not gonna go too daring just yet. All right, we're gonna set this background aside and I wanna start painting this little overlay here that goes on. So we're gonna paint that next. So let's get this out of the way for a moment. So we're gonna do this little overlay here. And it's, again, I will have this blank. I did give you the link to go into my shop to find the blank. I will post it as soon as we get off of here. But these little blanks are really nice because this is all nicely pre-engraved, so you know where to place your lettering. There's no guessing, which is really nice. I like that. So we're going to do this in some, this is just dollar store crafter's paint, but it's lavender paint color. So we're going to try this, see how this looks. All right. I mean, you could use any paint you have. If you have chalk paint or, you know, any paint will do. That's not an issue which brand you use. Try to find a brush here. All right, let's see what this color looks like on here. I don't know if it's going to be too dark or not. Well, we'll get this first coat on and see. And if it's too dark, we'll lighten it up with a little bit of white. Like I said, here we go. First crack at this. We're all doing this together. It's kind of hard to tell too how dark your paint's going to be when it's the first coat and it's kind of sinking into the wood. And usually it doesn't take on the actual color that it is until you get the second coat on there. So we're going to just put this first coat on, we'll dry it. And then I want to give it a little sand because, like I said, this wood tends to get a little fuzzy. The birch does that when you get it wet. So we just want to take that little bit of fur off of there by giving it a light sand on that first coat. Because if you leave it like that and you try to put your top coat on, it's not going to go on there smoothly and you'll be disappointed when it all bubbles up on you. So I've just found that giving it a light sand in between those first and second coats works well. All right, so let's dry this, see what we got. I'm not sure if I like it. Anyways, we're gonna, I'm not sure if I want this bright of purple or I might just have to persevere here. I'm doing great, Cecile. How are you doing, my friend? Didn't notice your comment there. I don't know if you can see it. Like all those kind of little dark spots, that's where the wood is sort of getting that texture to it and that little roughness. And I think you can hear my hand across there. It's really sort of roughish. So that's the part we're going to sand off so that the second coat goes on a little bit smoother. And I may just lighten it down just a bit, or yeah, I might lighten it down a little bit with some white on the second coat. Hello, Shelly. Okay, so let's get our trusty sandpaper. And instantly it feels much smoother already. Fabulous. Fabulous. All right, that's better. So that second coat will go on nice and smooth now. Now it is a little dusty. Mind the dust. It will get a little dusty on it. All right, so let's add a little bit of white to that purple color that we put on here, because I think I want to tone it down just a smidgen. And it's all personal preference. I mean, you know, you do it whatever purple color you want, you know. I'm just not, the vibe wasn't there for me, so I'm just going to mix this. And basically that's all I'm doing, is just mixing in a little bit of white just to tone that down a bit. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I think I'm liking that better. Much better. The other one was just a bit too bright, I think, or a little too dark for me. I think I like this. This is a lot better. Okay, we'll get this second coat on here. We'll give it a quick old dry. Oh, thank you, Kelly, for the sprinkle. Appreciate that. And I'm also going to, now that I have this, the color that I like, I'm going to do that back side of the lavender, piece of lavender with this color too. So we'll get this second coat on here. We'll set it aside to dry. And we'll move on to our flower. You could do this with a makeup sponge by, you know, wiping the paint on, which might have been a little bit faster, but I just grab the brush. You can do it either way. It all works. It all works. All right, so there is that. That looking a little bit darker there than it's supposed to there. We'll just fix that. We'll fix it up. Okay, give it a quick dry, and then I'm going to do this. This little lavender flower comes in the two pieces. So we're going to do this back side in this color as well. All right, let's dry this fast. Hello, Kathy. There's not too many working, like too many moving parts on this particular cutout, so it shouldn't take too long to paint. So I'm just going to use a makeup sponge for this part, and we'll just get that on here with makeup sponge. And then for this little portion down here is the stem, and there's a bow overlay that goes over top. We're going to do those in some Hauser light green. So we'll paint those little pieces while we're here. Just going to use a makeup sponge again. And this little bow too, we'll do it in this color as well. I might change that to white later, I'm not sure. We'll do it in this color first, and if we decide to change it, we'll change it. Because we can. Okay. And again, we're just going to sand this just so it gets a little bit smooth. Same as this, we can give it a little sand. And then we'll put on our second coat on here. And then what I'm going to do is take a little bit of a darker purple, and with this same brush or the same sponge, so I'm going to grab some of this grape juice color, so a little bit darker purple, and I'm just going to go right straight in that with this same sponge, and I'm just going to kind of hit the edges a little bit on this back bit of flowers. Let's turn it a bit just so we get some contrasting color in here. Looks pretty good. All right, and then we have our overlay of little lavender here that's over top. And I think I'm going to use this. It's a little bit lighter of a purple. Let's see what that looks like. This is, I think it's a Deco Art color, and it's Gentle Heather. I don't know if it looks more pink or purple, but we're going to give this a whirl. Let's try that. Now, I'm not sure. It's a little pinky, but what we can do is I'll add a little purple to that. See how that works out. Just mixing colors over here. So I just added a little bit of that dollar store lavender to it. Just to maybe get rid of some of that pink hue. I want it to be more of a purpley. Purpley hue. And then we can also go into that darker purple. And just kind of hit the edges of that too, like we did on the other piece. And I'm going to grab just some plain white. Hi, Paisley and Presley. Your grandbabies. Did they hear it? I'm going to take a little bit of white and see if we can add some little highlights on here. All right, so let's see how that looks. Oh, that's pretty good. Pretty good. All right, so having done that, let us get to our bow here. There's my dark green right here in front of my eyes. I'm just going to take a little bit of this dark green. I think I am going to change that bow to white. I don't know. I don't think I want it to be green. We're just going to go on the ends of these stems a little bit with some dark green. Good, they heard it. Cute. Cute names too, Paisley and Presley. Very cute. All right, let's change this bow to white because I'm not thinking that I'm jamming that green bow. I think we're going to change it to white. See how that looks. And since I painted it green, I'll probably have to put a second coat on it, but that's all right. We have some other stuff we have to do white as well. All right, we got a few more minutes. So we have these two pieces. That's that way and this way. So these are also painted in white. So we'll get those based. And also the word hello that we have to go on here is also white. So we'll get that painted too. We're here until 10:45. So we have a few more minutes before we have to sign off. So we should be able to get this put together and see how it looks. Keep my big fingers out of that. It might help a little bit. All right, let's get some more white on my plate. And then we can put this together and see how it looks. It's the fun part. See how it all came together. All right, let's give this a second coat. Almost dry there. All right, let's dry these. Hi, Terry. All right, let's get a second coat on these and then we'll move to our word hello, hello word. All right. Let's work on the letter here. It's pretty scroll down here. This is rattling off the my cardboard that I'm painting on is uneven, so it's like slapping on it over here. Sorry for the noise. Apologize. Apologize. All right, let's dry that and we'll put a second coat on there. I just want to see what this little bow looks like on here. If white was the right choice or not. Maybe. I don't know. What do you think? What color I should do that bow? Shout me out what color you think that should be. If white looks good or if I should shade it a little bit with another color. What do you think? Yellow. Hmm. Like a light yellow, like baby duck yellow. You like the white? I'm wondering if I should just add a little bit of shade to the bottom edge of it. Maybe. Let us see here. I'll know better once I get it put together on the backer. We'll see what it looks like in a second here. All right, I think that's pretty good for that. Now, for this little backer, I do want to shade the edges a little bit with some of this darker purple. So let's go in here with my grape juice color. And I just want to put a little bit of contrast on the edge. And let's dry this. I think it's supposed to be this way. Get rid of some of those watermarks. All right, and then I'm going to add some dots to this. So let's go into our white with our little stylus. We'll put some polka dots on here. So we're just going to take our trusty stylus and we're just going to, just by eye, we're going to do a little dot pattern on here. And some of these might land where the letters are, but that's okay. We're just going to get these on here. And then whatever kind of shows up behind our lettering, we'll go with. And I don't know if we can get another row in here or not. We'll try. Let's see. We're going to do it anyway, whether we can or not. We can't. We're going to put it in there. All right, so there's our little polka dots. Hello, Rose. Thank you. All right, we're going to try and give this a quick old dry because those dots are the devil if you smudge them. So how many minutes? We got a few minutes left, so bear with me while I do this, and then we're going to pull our background back over and we're going to line it all up and see how it looks. And that's kind of where you can play around with the colors a little bit, but I mean, this one isn't over the top with colors, and it's just very, very limited color palette, which is very simple, and I liked it. I like that a lot. So we don't have a whole lot we have to contend with here. Like Rose just said, all the purple variations, but you know, we got our little lavender. I don't know, I think I'm kind of liking that little white bow. It kind of goes with our other white pieces. Okay, I'm going to chance this. I'm going to chance this dots here and bring this back over. All right, so here's our background. We have our little overlay. That's hot still. We'll get our two little lattice pieces here, or decorative pieces. And then our lavender goes here. I think I'm liking it so far. It's pretty. And then our hello word will go here. See, I kind of like the simplicity of it. I don't really know if I want to. I think I want to lighten this piece in the center here. So having said that, I'm going to take some of this different purple. I didn't like that first one that I used. It was more pinky. So I think I'm going to go over this a little bit with that mixture. Because I want to, because I can, and I have time, and I'm going to do it. I want it to be purple, but I want it to be a little bit lighter than that first piece. So let me get this mixed here. Bear with me, ladies. Bear with me. Thank you, Kathy. Because we have to be happy with it. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Let's use this one. Well, let's see if we can get this a little bit lighter of a purple. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Terry. See, I think that's where I want to go right here. See, I got that. You persevere. You just got to do, you know, see, it's lighter now. It's going to look prettier on top of here. I'm glad I changed it because it was just kind of blending into the other piece, and I kind of wanted it to have a little contrast color here. So now I'm happier. All right, let's dry that and we'll get that on there. And now, see, that's gonna look lovely. See, that's good. This is good. And now I can add a little bit of white to the edges, and that will be perfect. Perfect. So I'm gonna go back into that color. I love it when a plan comes together. All right, so we're gonna do this. I'm gonna grab a little bit of that white. Maybe not that much white. And we're just gonna hit those ends a little bit. That's good. Good, good. All right. See, much prettier. So now when we put this back on, we can see that this is a little darker. It's a little lighter. And then you can notice that there's two pieces there. And Yvette's happier, which matters, I guess. All right, let's get this lined up proper here and that little. You think that's better? I think that's better. I like that a lot better. And I think this little bow here, I think I'm going to shade the bottom edge of it. We still have a few minutes left. I might not get time to glue it all together on this live, but maybe we can. So I think what I'll do, I think I'm just going to take a bit of that purple. I think I'm going to just do that. Just give it a little bit of a purple hue here. I know we got a lot of purple going on here, but thank you, Shelley. All right, let's see. Maybe just put a little purple in here. Just give it a little something. And maybe it'll be too much. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of just washed it here and there a little bit with purple. I think I'm just going to leave it at that. There we have it. Very simple design, but pretty nonetheless. So I think we have 3 minutes left. So let's just start gluing it together. I think I'll glue this hello on here first. So for the glue, I don't know what you guys use, but I love this stuff, the Quick and Thick. Never have too much purple. It's just same as pink too. I'm down with the purple and the pink. I agree, 110%. All right, so if you let me know, do you guys use this Quick and Thick? It's like I found to be the best for gluing these together. Because first of all, it's not like Gorilla Glue, which just about burns your eyes out with the fumes. That stuff is horrible. And I used to use that to glue them together, and then it was, oh, it's killing me. It was killing me. Didn't use the K word on here. It was hurting me, I should say. So I switched to this stuff and I have not gone back. I love it so much. And it gives you a couple, I'm just looking for the engraved lines here. It gives you a couple minutes of wiggle room to adjust, and it dries clear. So all this stuff in here that kind of oozes out. You don't have to get too worked up about that. Thank you, Kelly. You like the purple shading on the bow? Yeah. And it's just a little bit. I think that, it's kind of a subtle painted one. You don't want to go too off the mark of the color palette, which is very, like I said, there's not much to this one, but simple sometimes is better. Keep it simple. So I'm just getting that excess gobs of glue off of here. Like, it does dry clear, but I try to get the excess off anyway. Maybe just because I am a little bit OCD about these things. All right, now that we have that on there, we can glue that onto here. I think it's pretty good. Get stuff out of there. Sometimes you think you have it all off, all the extra stuff off, and then you come back and you find more. Thank you, Cecile. What kind of glue? It's tight bond, quick and thick. And it dries fast, but you get at least, I don't know, it gives you about 2 or 3 minutes. I don't know what the actual timing is, but you can kind of move it around and then you can't. Like, so it does give you a little bit of wiggle room to get things into place, but then it sets, which is kind of nice. But it gives you that little bit of time to get it on there in the spot you want it. What am I at? Oh, I'm a minute over now. But anyways, I'll just get this piece glued on and we'll sign off. I'll just put this back together so you can see it again. I don't have to glue them all on camera. I think you got the idea. Let's get that lined up there. All right, there you have it, ladies. So if you want one of these blanks, I will have them over in my shop, and I did put the link up here, but I'll get it added in the shop actually when I get off of here. I want to get it glued together and take a pic of it and pop it in there. But thank you for joining me for my craft around the clock segment, and we'll see you all very soon. All right. Night, everybody.